Hello, hello, hello,
Hello.
everybody. Welcome to the Uncancel Culture podcast.
I know.
Okay, I'm one of your hosts, Shahem
And I'm
Mclaurin,
Other host, Christina Brown.
aka Dr. Durag,
And Miss Xtina Bree, that brown girl. My Miss Xtina B is my new rebrand.
we love it. We love a rebrand. We love a rebrand. So we are going to start off, and this is structured into segments. And the first segment we like to start off with, and that we're going to be starting off with, is question for the culture. But obviously, this is our first episode.
Right.
So we're going to start with our first question for the culture.
Which
Christina,
is,
take it away. Go ahead.
What is Uncancel Culture?
What is the Uncancel Culture podcast?
Right. I feel like we gonna get dragged for that. I can already hear what the f they gonna be talking about. Basically, Shahem and I, we've for at least, I've been content creator for 5 years.
It's been like a lot of years for me. I started off on Tumblr, to be honest. It's been a minute for me.
Okay, Tumblr baddie. We've been in the game for a minute, basically. And through the years, we've been talking about, since we met in person about almost three years ago now. Oh my God.
We met almost in a fist fight. I almost had to slap
did.
about that, you know.
And that's when I knew, locked in. But we talked about basically being visible as content creators and seeing the culture online start with like canceling people and holding people accountable and bringing conversations that was necessary, right? And then seeing the pendulum just swing really far
to the right.
In a lot of cases where it's like, oh, well, there's no nuance in this type of canceling, or we're just using that word so frivolously.
I would even take it a little further and say not only is there a lack of nuance, but introducing nuance to many conversations get you even more punished.
Yeah.
Like, they will punish you for being nuanced because you're not going along with the mob that's almost always like black or white thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it started getting real carceral real fast.
real fast.
And being both, we often found ourselves in it, we're the Twitter villains.
Yeah.
We don't have our third person.
Yeah. Shouts out to Pierre. Yeah.
Pierre the Panderer.
We got some good villain names though.
We do. Do we?
Miss Bullet Bags.
Please.
What's mine? I don't think I have a solid one. Dr. Durag isn't a good enough villain. Dr. Duraggedy.
Dr. Duraggedy is good.
Dr. Duraggedy, yeah. And Pierre the Panderer.
Pierre the Panderer.
Wow.
We're going to get to that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Uncancel Culture is... We're here to challenge the notions of the carceral canceling that we see online. Okay. This is a space where nuance exists and is welcomed more than anything.
And let me say this now. If you are the type of person who refuses to acknowledge that multiple truths can exist at the same time, you're going to be upset at some of the things we say. I'm going to let you know that now, and I'm so sorry. But this is a space where, because honestly, I'll even speak to a larger issue that is happening in society, right? We exist within a society that is becoming more and more and more polarized, and it is actually dangerous. It is causing like tangible harm. Like even the last election cycle that we went through, we witnessed so many people incapable of being able to hold multiple truths at the same time. Right. It was either you do this or there's nothing. Even in some other recent controversies, like the Beyonce Bowl, like it was like you either like supporting Beyonce or liking Beyonce means that you support like billionaire capitalists, whereas you can't acknowledge like, the complexities of Black American culture. Or it was like if you have any criticism against Beyonce, like you're squarely against those things. And that is just simply not the truth. The reality is all of it is existing at the same time. Yeah. And it went to hell.
It's still in hell.
Yeah.
We recorded it.
Because people just can't see multiple things.
At all. And I think I don't know. I'm excited to start this podcast because I feel like the time is necessary, especially considering last election results. And girl, we don't know. We recorded this before Inauguration Day.
Yeah.
And before the TikTok ban.
Oh.
So I feel like it'll be necessary to have some type of space where people can, number one, where me and you can come and just be like, can we just dish some things out, give space for other creators and people who are visible to be able to kind of like dish the things out, try to show what accountability looks like, because we're also not perfect. Like this isn't a place to be like, oh, we know how to do it. It's literally to show the difficulty of acknowledging multiple things being true at once.
Yeah.
And what that actually looks like, not doing a monologue behind your camera.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can say that me and Christina both acknowledge that we have made several missteps throughout our entire careers on the internet. In fact, the next segment that happens on the show, which we will be segueing into, the first 2 episodes, we really want to focus on y'all getting to know the people who will be here on this journey. The culture is what we're trying to create here. You are a part of this culture, so we're gonna introduce ourselves and hopefully get to know you too, because questions for the culture moving forward is hopefully going to be questions from you, the audience, people listening, people watching, because we want to hear what you think. We want to hear the type of questions you have around this matter. But the next segment is the hot seat.
No, I'm kidding.
So the hot seat is, and Christine, do you want to describe it or you want me to?
You describe it.
The hot seat is a segment where we're going to be talking about in the future, issues that may be happening currently and our opinions on them. Some that might get us canceled because they go against the grain because we're considering nuance. It may be historical things, figures, people, things that will be put in a hot seat, things that are being discussed in that moment. And
sometimes people.
Okay. For the first episode, the first 2 episodes, it'll be me and Christina. But today, this is the Miss Bullet Bag episode.
Sorry. Please.
So.
Please, I got to find the tweets. I got to find the tweet.
Okay. So, Christina.
Yes.
I want you to, if you could, since you're being put on a hot seat, tell us your history with cancellation on the internet, because this is Uncancel Culture. We are going to try and argue your case. Come on.
Argue my case. Lord have mercy, I'm pulling up my evidence as we speak.
I remember this like yesterday.
Vivid. I remember it.
I was there.
So, and this was before me and you knew each other.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what in the hell is going on?
Right?
Wow.
What's sick is I met a lot of my mutuals now to this day.
That was
and I know a lot of my friends.
Yeah, I want you to take it away because this story is so wild to me.
So my journey with making content started, I'd always been a yapper online since high school. Basically, and the girls were listening always.
Always.
Okay, they were.
They always had an audience. That was never a struggle.
Never.
Yeah.
So that was just something that kind of always existed. And in 2020, I started making TikToks because the pandemic, and I was living in France. I just started my master's program. So I was like, damn, I'm feeling kind of away from home. I had Twitter. And I was like, let me see what this TikTok talking about. And the first TikTok I made that went viral was 2020, George Floyd BLM protest. And I was just feeling really frustrated. And I changed up the lyrics to the national anthem to look at police brutality. And that went off overnight. Yeah. So I started making content all of 2020 from there. And, I got the white people mad and the Republicans mad. A whole bunch of people mad because you're desecrating.
When aren't they mad?
The anthem. Yeah. And I loved it. And then 2021, but I'm in grad school program at this point. So I had dealt with kind of like threats and harassment, but at that point it was just like things were going viral and emotions were heightened everywhere. Trump finally got out of office, but it was a new presidency. So I think people felt a little more, I don't know, something about post-Trump election the first time, people started really feeling emboldened.
Yeah. What a time.
In a way that was very frightening and scary. So then after he got out of office, that emboldenedness didn't stop. It only just kind of grew still and festered. So fast forward, 2020, 2021, I'm taking like a little bit of a break and then I kick it back up summer 2021. And at that point, I get in a relationship. Now this person's actually canceled. I don't give a fuck about nuance when it comes to this motherfucker. My ex is trash. Fuck that nigga.
Some people are beyond reproach.
He was. I don't know what he doing now, but I don't care. But I got into a relationship with someone that I knew from high school. We known each other since we were like 13. And we had this back and forth of like, will they, won't they? And then we finally did come, I think it was like August 2021 or something. And Oh no, it was August 2020. So we had almost been in a relationship for a year. So on Twitter, like people were doing these like us back in the day, us now photos, and I was like, oh, I want to do one. Us 8 years ago graduating from high school, and us now 1 year into a relationship. Posted that to Twitter, didn't think shit of it because it's a trend, and it just blew up. I mean, like over 200,000 likes, millions of views. People were congratulating it, and then a slew of just degenerates, just a whole bunch of niggas harassing it, and it was specifically black men.
I remember. Yeah.
We were getting called every slur that they could ever come up. I was getting called a bed wench, and a bed wench is a slur for black women who were essayed and raped by white men. My partner was a black man, but they changed his race on me.
They changed yours several times.
That came after. Yeah. And they were mad at me because I had made him wait, quote unquote, for 8 years. So yeah. I still have the folder to this day of evidence. Getting called, they were calling my pussy ran through, talking about me and my underage pussy. They were like threatening us with violence, saying that they would rape me, saying that they would kill him, they would beat his ass, calling him the F slur, calling us all types of racialized slurs, bed wench, whore, bitch, slut, for 4 days straight. Like, it was a nonstop fighting for my life because...
I remember. Like, I want to remind y'all, I was there. I saw all of this in real time. It's not a lie.
People be telling me I lied. So... that was my first time receiving like days and days and days of harassment nonstop. I mean, through email, through DMs. He was experiencing it. We like literally couldn't escape it. And I remember what specifically triggered me. That was all triggering me. But someone had made a comment about me being raped and sexually assaulted, and laughing at it, threatening it, and then making a comment about that happening to me while I was in high school, like waiting for him or making him wait or something. Like, oh yeah, men just used her, and I was sexually assaulted in high school, and they were using that against him, right? Yeah. They were like, oh, you have used goods. They were calling me used car with used mileage, used condom. That triggered me, and that Mars and Sagittarius, baby. Yeah. Came out, and I said, you know what? And I pulled out my phone, and I tweeted. I'll never forget this. Should I read the tweet?
Well, we're being honest here.
We're being honest. Yeah. So I tweeted September, what was this? Like September 2021, like 9th or whatever. After thousands and thousands of comments from nigcels objectifying and villainizing me, I've come to the conclusion that I no longer have capacity to have empathy for cis, straight, black men. Good luck on your endeavors as bullet bags. Oh. So, I'm sorry.
The tweet that changed it all.
The tweet sent around the world.
Yeah.
And I sent it, closed my phone, and went to sleep. I swear, it was like, I was so mad. So mad, Trigger. I said, okay, two can play the game. Because I tried to argue with them. I mean, like, this is problematic. You're using Misandrynoir. And they were like, shut the fuck up, bitch. You should get... And I was like, all right, say less. I woke up, bro. I woke up to like, mayhem.
Oh.
I woke up to mayhem. I woke up to people... They were already threatening to dox me. Now I'm officially doxed. They were trying to they found my grad school program.
Yeah, I remember you went through a lot. I remember you losing actual like things in your life. Like,
yeah.
I'll let you finish this story.
Yeah,
that was a lot.
My grad school, they did email them, and they basically were like, well, this didn't happen. This ain't got nothing to do with us, so we'll see you when the semester starts.
Very much me if I was in grad school. Like, girl, good luck. I don't know about that. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
They said, well, you didn't do it to one of our students, so see you next week, because I was finna fly to France to go finish my last semester. Yeah, my last semester. And
I think the French support stuff like that. They're a little radical over there, no?
They are.
Well, minus the everything else.
Right. Yeah. They are. They be burning a building. And it was and then the gaslighting started. And that
they love that. They love a gaslight.
The harassment and the threats weren't enough. The gaslighting, bro, no one said that to you. Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a whole bunch of other men. First of all, I'm not even on white TikTok. I'm not on the other Twitters. This was only a black Twitter thing. We could see you. I saw the profile pics.
Yeah.
There were men tagging their friends in the comments. Hey, bro, come over to this thread so we can harass her.
Emphasize one more time. I was there. I remember. I seen all of this with my own eyes. I was also pissed at the time too. I remember.
Nuts. So gaslighting for days, and then the pick-me started coming out of nowhere.
Oh Lord. Pick-me's just...
Girl, the women who weren't there for when I was getting harassed, but then when they started making videos. So I made a TikTok video being like, yo, this is what happened to me.
What's that one girl name? The devil, what's her name? Oh my God.
The one with the piercings?
No.
Oh,
what's her name?
Oh.
She be on Twitter.
Vacation Venice.
Oh shit!
That's
Yeah,
deep cut.
that one.
If you know, you know.
That's the worst one of them all.
Find a synonym and change the city, and you'll know exactly what we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So she was the one that started. Her and somebody else on TikTok started the Puerto Rican allegations, and then that's what. That's.
You'd have been every ethnicity under the sun. Lord.
That was the first time everyone was like, and you know what? Matter of fact, she not even black. And yeah, her man not even black too. She a bedwench. And I said, which one is it? Is he not black? Am I not black or am I bedwench? Because bedwench is a slur for black women. They was just making up anything, child.
Oh, my favorite. Can I tell you my favorite one?
What? No, what?
No, my favorite one was you told me they said your mom and your dad were adopted, so therefore by transfer of properties.
Yes.
I was like, oh, we doing math.
It was actually
quick math.
They were saying I was biracial, and I was like, no, my daddy's biracial, my mom was black, both black Americans, right? I've been saying that nonstop. They were like, well, yeah, both your parents is black. But I was adopted by white people. Oh. So therefore, I'm culturally biracial.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you could do that.
Biracial through osmosis.
Okay, I like that. The transfer of properties of biraciality.
Yeah, of transracial adoption. That's
somebody do a dissertation on that. We need some research. Thank you.
That I was like, yo, the internet's really wild. Like, that was my first time that I was like, I pushed back my flight to France because we were getting more death threats, and I was like, all right, I was in Texas at the time, so you could be strapped up in Texas.
Oof.
Let that. Right. So.
Some of us do be carrying that thing.
Hello, blickety blick. So, yeah, I just nothing I could say was going to change at that point. People who wanted to be mad were going to be mad, and people who wanted to speak up were going to speak up. And it wasn't right away. There wasn't a lot of, at least that I saw. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like I've never had the full perspective of somebody from the outside because I was in it. So I couldn't see what everyone else was saying about it. I only know that since then it's been brought up, and it's been 3 years. Literally.
I will post you or something with you and me, and somebody will be like, "That's the one who said bullet bags." Like,
oh, they say I coined it. They said I coined the phrase, and
I've seen the phrase so many times before you, and I see other people use it. In fact, just like a week or so ago, this other girl was being jumped on the timeline.
That's what I saw.
Because she said called black men bullet bags before.
Right.
She was in an abusive situation with a white man, and it's like
they thought that was me too. Someone was tapping.
I was like, when people were saying like that, I was like, oh my God, did Christina date a white man and I'm unaware of it? Like, but yeah, no.
You've seen all the niggas I date. You would know.
Christina likes fruity niggas.
Oh my, that's a whole other. I do.
That's that's another podcast episode.
Cancel fruity nigga who is in a hot seat on my fruity niggas at the table.
Listen, a whole round table, baby.
I would do it.
Messy.
Different type of podcast.
Lord.
Anyway, back what were we saying?
Child, this was after it done went down, people bringing it up to this day.
I mean, to this day. And then it just, from that point, I just became enemy number one. Anything I said, anything I did, anything I could laugh and say I had a great day. And it would be, So you saying my day was shitty, you little bag Malaysian bitch. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, Malaysian.
Malaysian.
Call you Malaysian down.
One that said my mom was East Asian.
Oh.
She started getting really upset with this. She was like, why do people keep saying these things? I said, Mom, because they don't make no sense.
I mean, Christina's mom is actually very black. I've heard her talk on the phone to you, and I was like, "Oh, this is a black lady." Yeah.
Like, have you heard my grandma talk to me? Mm-mm. Was it when we were cooking Thanksgiving? When was it? Oh wait, did you come to Thanksgiving? I
was there, and I do need to. I'm still mad about the pot liquor. We're gonna talk about that. Can make some ramen, but we're gonna save that for another day. We're gonna have that off podcast.
I can always make collard greens,
please. And you brought that little bit of baby ass greens. She brought 2 scoops of greens.
No, I did not bring.
That was 2 scoops of greens to Thanksgiving, and you should know better than that.
It was not 2 scoops.
It was gone in the first 30 minutes, Christina.
Well, that's because. Nick, look, black people. Let me
please get back to the podcast before you piss me off. Jesus.
Cancel my greens. That's it.
And they're very good.
You gonna make a tweet?
No.
She's not black, y'all. She don't even know how to make greens.
For real, because she don't know how to be generous. She's a little bit of baby ass greens. That shit pissed me off so bad. Come on, back to the podcast.
Anyways,
yeah,
I wanted leftovers for myself. So yeah,
I see.
I did, and I used them. I think. Yeah, that it also brought me into so much anxiety. After that, for maybe at least, I moved to New York after that, I also had another doxing situation with this time white supremacists and libs of TikTok, where I made a joke about when you see white people, for black people, colored folks, when you see white people look at you on the street like you're scary, don't you want to juke at them a little bit just to make them think payback is coming?
Oh, I blocked libs of TikTok I
didn't know they existed until this.
I said, oh, nope, it won't be me.
Found my video, posted it. Ben Shapiro done seen it. Prager, you done seen it. And I'm getting called all types of slurs in live one day. Back 1800s type slurs. And I said, what's going on? Then they oh, you on libs of TikTok. And I said, because of what I said about white folks. And I said, well, the tea is you probably are scared of black people. And matter of fact, there was a study of rats about epigenetics. And yeah, white people and rats have a lot in common. Then I went to the study. I just had to throw a little joke in there. They clipped that and posted that again and said, teacher comparing white people to vermin.
Well, if the shoe fits.
I was like, bro.
Sorry, all my Nordic listeners. We ain't talking about you. We talking about other people, not you. Well, you special to us. Kind of.
But they found now these white people know the docs. They found my resume. They found my LinkedIn. They found where I work. They called the district. They tried to post pictures of where they thought my house was. And I got called into a meeting for the districts. And it was it was a black man superintendent and 2 old white men. And I said, I'm out of here. I knew immediately I was like, they firing me. They were just there to confirm. So then by the time I got fired, I got a letter sent from the district, and they found a tweet. Do you know about this?
What was the tweet?
That
about
got me
the
back black broke like a glow stick.
Yeah, I remember that. Tell them what the tweet is.
I got while I was on suspension. I was on suspension for 2 weeks, and I went to go travel, and I was living life, and so I tweeted, I'm opening the letter 2 weeks later, and they're like, you're gonna get fired because we found this video with racially insensitive language, and also this tweet, and I read the tweet that they cited, and it was the one where I said, finally celebrated Black History Month the right way by getting my black back broke like a glow stick by some heavy black dick.
And would the people be upset if I said I agree? Hello? Can we wake it up, people?
Black pleasure. Not important.
We have to censor black joy. We have to censor it. Okay?
Liberation.
Yeah, I think it's hateful.
Clitoration.
Yeah.
And I went, wow, they found that.
They're so strict. Oh my God.
So I got fired. And that was my story of how I started full-time content creation. Yeah. And they still bring it up. And I've had other people making threads of me, people talking about, politics aside, what would you do to her? And waking up to threads of people sexually harassing me, waking up to people saying all types of shit, waking up to people in college talking about, me and my black homies, remember, y'all, you didn't give us none. Da-da-da. Whoa, that's crazy.
I saw that.
You
that
mad.
was crazy.
9 years later.
Like, you need to seek help, I think, actually. Not me. Not me, please. Lord, not me.
So, I think I just recently, in the last year, stopped giving a fuck. Like, I think I just recently was like, yo, they're going to find any and everything. And I know.
I find that it ebbs and flows for me. There are days where I'm like, I just really do not give a fuck about what anybody's saying. No. And then there are other days where it's like, this is like the worst thing ever. Like, I do not want, I want to hide under a rock. Like,
I feel that.
Yeah.
I think I've prioritized hiding under rocks more, to be honest. Like, I've had to be like, I need to take a break and step away. And I think from the whole bullet bag scandal, I remember I always said when people asked about accountability, it got brought back up again when I wrote an article for Afropunk.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Right. And they got, how dare you platform this girl? And the article I was writing, would you believe it was about Misandrynoir?
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. Funny.
I remember that.
Think I was like, yeah, I said it and I did it and I was mad. Like, they're like, that was so mean. I was like, that was the point. Like, I'm being raw and honest that the point I was driven to was to that extreme.
Yeah.
Now, and I know that I've changed because I haven't said it again.
Yeah.
But the harassment from about me and for me has not stopped. Just the other day, someone was talking about wanting to threaten my life and has been wanting to beat me up for 2 years.
I saw that. Yeah. Can I ask a question? Actually, just like so you can clarify a little bit more, because I do think like this is a good space for us to have the difficult conversations, right?
Right.
Do you regret anything, and would you have done anything differently? Obviously, duh.
Would I have done it differently? Probably.
Yeah.
Do I regret anything?
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna be honest. No, because that was how I'm a Scorpio. I get to hey, the shit I felt how I felt. I felt like I had to defend myself. I was literally for the first time being harassed and threatened, and I felt myself literally get triggered.
Yeah.
To when therapists talk about, you get triggered to the age you were when some type of trauma happened. I felt my brain go back. Yeah. So I think that doesn't mean that I don't see like the error or how it wasn't helpful, which is why I don't act like that or haven't said the same thing or don't engage in the same way.
Well, could you speak to like what you think is wrong about using the term bullet bag, just so the people can have like the nuance of it all?
What's wrong with using the term?
Yeah.
I think it, for me personally, or just in general.
Either one, baby.
I'm gonna come talk for myself, because for me it obviously speaks to like a carceral system that like black people are victims to. And when I talk to my mom about it, now look at my family all know and stuff, and my dad and my mom, they like understood where I was coming from. When I talked to my mom, she brought up a perspective of like people who had lost family members from that violence, or like the fact that it's like we could deal with that violence at any point in time, and her being like, now I know that's not what you believe, right? Obviously, and I know that's not what I believe. So because it's not what I believe and it's what I care about deep down, it just doesn't reflect. It doesn't reflect me. It doesn't reflect me, and I think it's a very hurt people.
Yeah.
And even if the hurt people might be valid, the feelings of that, finding other ways to get a point across and express hurt and express harm done without perpetuating the shit that you deal with and the system that we're all indoctrinated by is probably the best route to do that,
Yeah. Can I say something? Like,
what?
I actually was a victim of police brutality.
Really?
So yeah, I was. I got physically assaulted by a group of police officers for standing on a sidewalk at Pride, like in 2019. And it really like did a number on me. It was like really brutal. And I wouldn't wish that type of violence on anybody.
Damn.
And I say that to say, because because of who I am, and like when I came forward about the situation,
right,
like people were like making me wish I had died and stuff like that. I know that that violence really can fall on anybody, and that it is possible for people to be like impacted by that, and you never know. And I also know better than to put like the weight of these systems on like one singular person. I do think it's our responsibility to like combat like spreading that type of rhetoric or whatever, but I do also know like we are all just like hurting people, like truly at the end of the day.
Yeah. And when I reflected, I didn't know that fully. I think I had an idea. So thanks for sharing.
Of course.
See, vulnerability.
And
at that point, I hadn't been like physically assaulted by police officers. At that point, I had my moments of verbal assault or being threatened by police officers in a multitude of ways. I'd been tear gassed. I'd been, regular protest chic. Yeah. Shit that you go through. So I was like, let me reflect on what my feeling was when I said it. Let me do some. I had been in therapy before by that point and stuff. So I was like, let me do some processing. What was my point that I was trying to prove? I was trying to prove that you guys didn't care what was being said to me because I was a black woman until I said something that hurt cis heterosexual black men, because in the black community, they're the ones that hold like the most privilege. That was the point I was trying to prove, right? Yeah. And because I knew that was my feeling, I'm like, okay, let me pivot what it is that I'm actually trying to talk about and talk about it in these ways and not use this language that is just going to like throw coal into the fire that's already burning. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe sometimes you got to blow shit up.
I fully support that message.
There's a time and place for everything, and sometimes violence is the answer. That's me. That's my personal politics. Sometimes it's necessary. You don't have the time, right? But this I felt like I did, and I felt like I had the space and energy. Now, did that stop my harassment? No. I've been still getting death threats, harassment, being called bedwench, being called all types of shit. But I know my integrity, and I know what it is that I'm saying, and I know what it is, like the message I was trying to like share. Yeah. So when I regret it, I mean, it taught me a lot about myself. And I've been able to, I think it was nice to be able to see my own growth, and for people online to see my growth. This narrative started shifting to like a couple years in, people was like, well,
she might have made a point. I'll be frank. I think like you did what you had to do to defend yourself in the face of like a lot of harassment. And I think one of the issues on the internet is that a lot of people think that you can just like, because a person is more accessible because they have like a larger platform, or because this person is like more visible, that you can just like take that and hurl anything at these people. And a lot of people don't expect a response, and when they get the response that they're asking for, then they start to do the whole victim stance thing. It's like one big old case of Darvo. If you don't know what Darvo is, it is a manipulation tactic that abusers typically use, which is deny, accuse, and reverse victim and offender role. So you're basically like making yourself the victim even though you started it. Right. Like that is what the internet feels like from time to time.
It's often like that.
Very, very often, child. But I do think you did like I think you protected yourself. Do I think you could have protected yourself in a better way? Yes, but I think it's unfair to like it's unfair to like put that much weight on the people who are being subject to harassment, rape threats, death threats, like the whole nine, and to put the onus on them for how they respond personally. But with that, my question is like, when do we, and this is maybe mainly towards the audience, but like my question is like, when do we like kind of move towards letting a situation go when a person has proved that they no longer participate in that behavior? When?
Let's ask the audience.
When is it enough?
When is it enough?
When?
Because are we trying to actually acknowledge change? Because a lot of people are like, you never give an apology, you never do this, you never that.
You have.
You have seen.
I've seen you do it several times.
Several times. You also just maybe don't like the fact that, and I will stand 10 toes down in, I personally don't believe in apologizing if you don't mean it. That's my personal belief. Either. I don't believe in apologizing if you don't mean it. I will explain fully the situation and acknowledge the harm. I've always acknowledged that harm was done. Yeah. Always. People haven't liked.
There's going to be some people mad at that part.
They probably will, but I just don't think, because I think you can tell when an apology is fake. Yeah. Now, I apologize for the harm done. Absolutely. Yeah. I've been like, this was harmful. It hurt people.
So you standing on it. You ain't apologizing.
What you mean? Did I not just say I'm sorry. I said like.
You standing on it.
I said it.
If you standing on it.
I said it. I'm not going to be real. I said what I said, and
she said.
I feel like I can apologize for harm done. Harm was done.
Okay.
People were hurt. People that were, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry that harm was done. I'm sorry that people felt like the person who I was wasn't reflected in that. I'm sorry for the people who have experienced that. You know, like maybe more detrimentally than others, and like I've actually lost people and it triggering them. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And I'm also giving this part of me that felt like they had to defend herself in the midst of all these threats and harassment, that I did what I felt was the best for me to do, right? Yeah. And I just know the mindset I was in. I wasn't thinking straight and I wasn't thinking clearly.
Yeah. I will never judge anybody backed into a corner for doing what the fuck they gotta do.
So I'll apologize for harm done, but I don't believe in giving fake apologies. I don't. I think you can tell right away when it's like, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry that it hurt. I'm sorry, not that it hurt you, but I'm sorry that I caused harm. Yeah. Because my words did cause harm. Yeah. Wow. That being said.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Is it?
That was so good. Like, thank you for being. This message was brought to you by vulnerability. Okay, amen.
I'm not. I don't know.
So, are we transitioning to our segment? So.
I thought we were gonna go into when is enough. Want to see change done.
Well, I do want the audience to answer that question, but I will say, for me, I think that if you are someone who truly believes in, matter of fact, fuck all that. I'm going to be honest with you. All of us are imperfect beings. All of us have made mistakes. All of us have flaws. All of us have fucked up. All of us have said things that we deeply regret. Just all of us have not had that happen on the internet. I think people who go into these type of conversations with such rigid views of humanity and the ability to forgive are often struggling to do that with themselves. Ooh. And I think you should start within, so you stop treating other people like they are incapable of change. That's my thought.
Piggyback off of that.
Absolutely, you may piggyback off of that.
I didn't know we were going to church.
Please, take him to church.
Oh, my gosh, no, because that's real. Everybody thinking that. When I started really, because I used to be super insufferable with the like,
oh, Lord,
mind you, oof. People listening to this saying, you insufferable now. What you mean?
They'll get over it. You're fine.
You'll be fine. Even more so, if you can imagine. When I started reflecting on like, damn, no, you be making mistakes or you are not perfect, the grace for other people really started seeping in. Yep. And part of the reason why I don't regret it is because it allowed me to be in a position of understanding what it's like when you're feeling back in the corner, when you feel like you need to defend yourself or you feeling scared or triggered and you act out in a way that does not reflect who you are. That was me.
Oh my goodness.
Who am I to be like,
period,
throw somebody away because they might have done that or they might, you know what I mean?
Oh, and on that note, let me say this.
Now we're ping-ponging.
Yes, okay? You should appreciate the version of you that led to you being who you are. Don't you ever shit on your past self. Ever. Ever. That is who got you the way you are now, okay?
It is.
Wake that up.
That's the person who protected me.
Wake that up.
You know?
Wake that up.
And I had to ask myself, am I not deserving of community? You know, in the midst of me being canceled all the time and harassed and stuff, and like a lot of people when it comes to the bullet bag thing will be like, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. I have great relationships with black men in my life. Queer black men, fruity black men, as Shahem will say.
Not all of them are fruity.
Heterosexual.
Most of them.
Pending. I say they're heterosexual pending. Because if you around me as a man, you get an allegation.
You're beating the by allegations.
Once a week.
Are. Yeah, you getting them all the time.
I'm asking every week. We do check-ins. Are you sure? Kiss a boy. But
Christina wants that to happen, by the way.
I do. And I'm standing in it. But like, but you surprise, you know, a lot of black women, when I tell them the story, they be like, well, because y'all know how you act. They're like, well.
Okay.
You know, so I think, maybe we'll leave it there. But that, like, a good reflection to be like, well, let me sit and see that the types of mistakes that I make or I have made before I sit and just want to discard as somebody.
If we don't challenge ourselves to be empathetic, I don't think that our society is gonna we're gonna go in a very much more nastier direction. Okay.
Right. But next segment.
Okay, so thank you, Christina, for all of that. I appreciate you for being so vulnerable and sharing your story.
I've never been able to tell it.
Yeah, this is a great look on your own podcast show. Period. Okay, so our next segment is the Uncultured of the Week. Listen, we talk about nuance. We talk about things that deserve to be considered for empathy and forgiveness.
Right.
But there are just certain things, certain people, certain places that are simply uncultured. In this segment, we are going to be talking about what is uncultured for me. My Uncultured of the Week. Oh, it's going to be the people who enable toxic behavior on the internet. I cannot stand it. I have been witnessing it. It's been expanding, okay, tenfold. So many people are willing to watch somebody crash out, but not only watch somebody crash out, they will literally encourage it and be, I think, oh my God, Ken, I think their name is Ken. What is their name? They're a non-binary person. They're a comedian. They are very fucking phenomenal, but they made a video that was like, people will yes queen you to death. They will watch you yes queen yourself to death. Like, they will watch you do the most toxic and harmful behaviors towards yourself and cheering you while you're doing it. I cannot stand those motherfucking people. That is my Uncultured of the Week. If it applies, let it apply then.
Let it apply then.
Don't duck if it don't apply.
Look. Oh my God, mine. This made me think I didn't have one. I said, fuck, I forgot. Next episode I'll have it. But you talking is the pick a side warriors, and you just made a video about this.
Yes.
The people that force you, oh God.
I hate those type of
people. The people that cannot nuance. Well, can you try existing in it for once? Bathe in the nuance for a second.
Okay.
Take a bath. Sit in it. The pick a side warriors, where it's like it has to be. And the one thing with this Beyonce discourse, I think it's been the most, and I'm not trying to get into it right now. I'm not going to do that to us.
I'm terrified.
I'm just saying this is a very good example of how the pick a side warriors, their heads were spinning because it was so many different sizes, it was a Venn diagram of different circles that you would have people who disagree with this and then was like, well, then you are on this. No, I actually disagree with every single point being made and agree with every single point.
Let's break that up a little bit, because they literally were so mad at me, and they kept literally saying that I was agreeing that Beyonce is America's best propagandist, which I disagree with.
Right.
Everybody knows I love Beyonce, and I always say I'm never going to put the weight of the American apparatus on any black people.
Right.
Period. Ever. Never. I don't care who you are. That is a creation of colonizers. And last time I checked, Beyonce is, look, you can say whatever you want about Miss Horse Lady. You can never call her the colonizer that created this mess. So I will not put that weight on her. And I'm okay with people disagreeing with that too, by the way. But yeah, people when I said we should humanize each other and talk to each other like human beings, they immediately put me on that camp.
Coddling, because I was
like, what? Who is?
Let's talk to each other. You had people
be so fucking for real.
This person, I actually actively disagreed with their take.
Yeah,
and said that and talked about it with them personally.
Yeah, without having to
I think
you see how I didn't say that she need to be, thrown off a bridge or beheaded or something for it. It's never that deep.
Whoa, everybody. Let us relax. So the pick a side warriors who can't
stand them.
Oh my God, very black and white thinking, very white. And that's very white supremacist to me. Very white supremacist. The race construct.
Wake it up.
The race construct. All the constructs were made for it to be you either one or the other. I think everyone loves we can't do a one drop rule, but you pick a side like it's a one drop. You drop in and that's all you are. That's crazy to me.
Very uncultured.
Anyways.
Very uncultured, mind you. You are absolutely correct about that.
Okay.
So our next segment.
Last one.
Our last segment, next segment too, is a fun game that we're going to play as we're closing out our show, and it is Cancel Court. In Cancel Court, I'm going to explain the concept to you, right?
Explain it.
We are going to both have a minute apiece to argue why something, someone, or a place or thing has been canceled, deserves to be uncanceled. So welcome to Cancel Court. Would you like to go first? I'm going to pull out my timer, and you got to tell me who are you?
Because I didn't prepare for that either.
Listen, I didn't prepare either. This is going to be on the fly for me.
I don't even have... I need like a rapid fire of things that have been canceled for me to make an argument for. There's something in the arsenal, but I'm blanking.
Okay, time is about to start. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, I'm going to go first. All right, time starting now. We should uncancel that it's problematic to order fajitas at somebody else's birthday. I'm sorry, okay? Look. You need to get your life in order. If I want fajitas at your birthday party, is it a little attention seeking? Yeah. But what's wrong with getting attention? You should have enough attention on yourself to where you are not swayed by me getting a delicious assortment of vegetables with potentially some chicken that I could wrap in a warm tortilla with some fresh lettuce, okay? I think it's a little unfair and a little selfish to prevent your friends from enjoying delicious meals. So while I understand that we have argued the case that getting fajitas at somebody else's birthday is problematic, I disagree, and I think you should just step your cookies up. Maybe you should wear like a church hat or something so you can be the one standing out the most, and I can have my veggies, even if they're sizzling and taking up all that time, space, and attention. And I just did that in 55 seconds, okay?
Your tour is down.
Oh, why are you bringing that up in this? You see how she did that?
We shouldn't cancel good, delicious, sizzling food.
I love vegetables. Like, okay, you don't want me to be nourished? That's crazy.
Damn. I don't want to piggyback off yours because then I had a thought. You be. What I was going to say.
Okay, you ready?
Should I go with what I was going to say or
you
add on?
should.
I'm going to go to what? Okay.
Okay. All right, time starts now.
I'm saying we should uncancel Luigi Mangione. I'm so serious. The federal government might get me for this, but how are you gonna cancel something you created? That don't make sense, federal government.
Facts.
That don't make sense. And also, we don't. Yes, is the court case ongoing? We don't know how it's gonna go. What is the evidence?
I don't think he did it.
I don't think he did it either. He's innocent until proven guilty. That's what y'all tell us, right? You also tell us that a well-adjusted white man doing something like this. That's not what they do. I just feel like you're profiling him, federal government. That's really unfair.
Racism.
Really, it's true, just because he's Italian.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You let that Italian.
You know what I'm saying? You had a real criminal, Miss Eric May. What's his name?
Eric Adams.
Eric Mays. What did I say?
Milk
Dud behind him. But on a serious note, I think regardless of what happens, he could be found guilty or not guilty in my book. Luigi Mangione should be uncanceled because he brought up good, necessary discussion in this society, in this world, and the federal government is
that's
gagged.
Your time, sis. You ate that though. I would let him go. Free that man. Okay? What
did he do?
Free him. Hashtag free him. And if the federal government, if you're watching this and you need our address, our name is Amy Schumer. You can find it.
Right next to Aubrey Graham.
This is Amy Schumer and Jennifer Lopez signing out. Y'all, thank you so much for...
From the block in Manhattan, not where she would be, not Bronx.
Y'all, thank you so much for joining us on our first episode. This is great. Please be sure to like, subscribe, follow us on our socials, uncancel.culture. Please, y'all, thank you for joining us on this journey.
Email your questions at theuncancelculture@gmail.com.
Yeah.
To have your question featured in the
beginning. We're going to put this information somewhere. We will. Somewhere on you'll be able to find it. Yeah.
You're on the journey for us. Bear with us.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Excited.
Yay. Episode 1.
Finished.